So find your way to a nice, comfortable seat or whatever shape it is you would like to begin your practice in this evening. And when you arrive in a shape that feels good in your body, you can close your eyes or soften your gaze and peer down past your nose. And I'll remind you that tonight we are thinking about this practice as a radical act of self-care. The idea that a mother could listen and respond to her own needs shouldn't be revolutionary, but in our world, in our culture, it is. As women, as folks who identify as mothers, as those of us who are raising children, we are asked to put the needs of so many others first. And so simply practicing what it feels like to listen to your body and respond here on the mat is a beautiful step in taking care of what your body needs off the mat too. It is an overused metaphor, but you can think of this yoga practice as a way to practice putting your oxygen mask on first, allowing you to be even more nurturing and nourishing, even more compassionate and caring than I know you already are. So continue to settle in here, finding your breath, taking nice, sweeping, deep breaths in and out. And our work here has already begun. You might have started sort of organically noticing the sensations in your body, especially at this time of night for a number of reasons. The aches and pains, the tightness, the tenderness, the weight of the day starts to feel particularly present. And so if you are noticing tightness or tension, do your best to meet those sensations with compassion and maybe just imagine breathing into those places. And tonight, especially, I will remind you that if you're noticing sensations or signals from the body that deserve to be responded to, you are more than welcome to take care of those things. If your body says to pause, if your body says to get a sip of water, if your body says to close your eyes and get into child's pose, I want you to practice saying yes and notice how it feels. Let's take 3 deep breaths in and out together. So take a deep breath in and out right now that's just for you. And at the bottom of that exhale, let's breathe in together, in through the nose and out through the mouth. Let it go. Beautiful. Twice more, just like that. Inhale in through the nose and a long exhale out through the mouth. Last round. Big breath in. and out. Beautiful. Pause here for a moment and bring your hands maybe to the heart, or perhaps one hand to the heart, one hand to the belly. Or maybe you'd prefer palms together, thumbs right up at the heart space. And take this moment, if you have not already, to just drop in right here, right now. Let the day fall away and be right here. When you're ready, you can tuck your chin into your chest, blink the eyes, open, release the hands, and lift the chin, coming back into your space. Gorgeous. We're going to take one hand, any hand, and bring it down by the side. Sweep the other arm up and over. A side body stretch here. You might pulse in and out of this. You might shift side to side, twisting a bit through the rib cage, or you might find stillness. Breathing in, and on your exhale, we'll come up and over like we're moving through water. Switch sides. Again, maybe it feels good in your body to pulse or shift the rib cage forward and back. Or maybe stillness feels best here tonight. You choose. And then when you're ready, we'll inhale both arms up and overhead. Reach up toward the sky, but drop those shoulders away from the ears. On your next exhale, bend the elbows, open up, find cactus arms. As you do, maybe you tack a little extra weight into the hips, the knees, get extra heavy through the lower half of your body, through the legs. And then spread the fingertips really wide, send the elbows back, open up through the heart, and gaze softly forward. Big breath in here. On an exhale, reach up, palms kiss overhead. This time, exhale, bring the fingertips all the way down by your sides. Inhale, reach up, arms sweep up, and exhale, we twist to the right, bringing the left hand behind the hip and the right hand to the right knee, to the left knee. I'm distracted because we just got a new dog and she's very curious about this yoga practice. We'll see if she makes an appearance tonight. But I won't distract you anymore. Twisting here. We're just at the top of our practice, so you don't need to like crank into this shape. Again, imagine this fluidity all night long, the spine kind of like moving through water. And we'll exhale, come back to center. Inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead once again, and then exhale, twist in the opposite direction. Gazing over to the side, maybe even all the way over that back shoulder. Staying soft through the jaw, maybe unfurrowing your brow. And then once again, exhale, come back to center. Sitting up nice and tall, we'll roll the shoulders back and a little bit forward. Beautiful. Then we're going to take the left leg out long, right leg bends, right knee bends, that right foot comes to the inside of that left inner thigh, and you can point and flex the toe a little bit here. And then nice and slow, we'll start with the left palm on the top of the left thigh and just slowly slide the fingertips down toward the ankle. And then we'll come back up, lifting and sliding toward the ankle. Inhaling, lifting up, and exhaling, pulsing in and out. Eventually, we'll land in a hold here. Maybe the next time you exhale, slide the fingertips down, Now maybe you angle that heart, reach that heart toward the toes, and then let your hands fall wherever they comfortably land on the ankle, the shins, maybe framing the calf, or maybe coming to the toes or the foot. And then let your chin tuck in toward your chest, knee toward the nose. On your next exhale, rise up. We'll switch sides, bringing the left leg in now and the right leg out long. Again, you might point and flex through that toe, just warming up through that right leg. And then we'll bring the right palm to the top of the right thigh. We'll inhale, sit up nice and tall through the spine, and exhale, slide the fingertips down toward the ankle. Your inhale lifts you up, and your exhale slides you through. When you're ready to land and find stillness, you might shift the heart space toward the leg, rotating through that mid back, and then letting your hands settle here wherever they fall comfortably. Maybe on either side of the calf, maybe resting on the shin. Maybe they come all the way to the toes or the ankle. Remember, this is a totally different side, so whatever happened on that other side, we are here fresh and new, exploring the sensations in this shape. And when you're ready, you can gently tuck the chin into the chest, the nose, air quotes, to the knee, softening the forehead, the cheeks, and the jaw. And then exhale, rise back up. This time, bend the right knee, bring the feet together. I'm going to move my bolster so I can bring my sits bones down to the earth. You might do the same if you were sitting up on something. But coming into this cobbler's pose, bringing the feet together and the knees out wide, sitting up nice and tall here to start. And so that might mean that the hands rest on the knees or the shins. We're not coming up and over yet, coming out of the pelvis, but let's sit up nice and tall and just let gravity do the work here, letting those knees get heavy as we open up the hips. Gorgeous. Then maybe on your next inhale, think about lengthening the crown of the head up toward the sky. And on your exhale, lean forward, gaze forward past the toes. And then bring the hands maybe to wrap around the toes or the ankles. And once again, gently tuck the chin in toward the chest and breathe deep. Beautiful. On your next inhale, lift up. We're going to keep the right leg where it is and send the left leg behind, coming into this 90-90 shape, or kind of a zigzag shape with your legs. It also reminds me of, like, I don't know, for some reason, like gym class, and I don't know why. But we're going to bring the hands to the knees and sit up nice and tall here. Just feel what's happening in the hips. Then we're going to take the left hand and plant it just behind that left foot, leaning back on, right behind the left heel, leaning back on the fingertips. Then our right arm sweeps up and back as we lean back onto that left hand. If that feels like much too much of a crunch, stay up on the fingertips, lift through the hips, gaze up toward the sky. On an exhale, flip the script. Right fingertips come down just in front of the knee. Left palm comes up and over. Big rounding through the shoulders here. And then we're going to flow just like that. Inhale, up and over. Left fingertips down, right fingertips up. And exhale, switch. Like you're moving through water or dancing, fluid, smooth. Gorgeous. When you're ready, bring both hands back to the knees and we'll shift sides so that left leg swings forward, right leg comes behind. Get yourself settled in here on this side, settling in to the hips. And first, really just sitting up nice and tall and noticing what's happening, that rotation that's happening in the hips. Then we'll bring the right fingertips behind the right heel and lift that left arm up and back, bending that back elbow, maybe planting the palm or staying up on the fingertips. Then on your exhale, we switch. Left fingertips come right in front of the knee. Right fingertips reach up and over, rounding through the spine. We'll flow just like that. Gorgeous. Come back to center. Bring the hands to the knees. Beautiful. Okay, we're going to switch the legs one more time on each side. So now the right leg comes forward, that left leg comes back. And this time we're going to bring the hands to the heart or maybe the hands to the hips. As we inhale, we're going to drive the hip points forward and come up onto the knees. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower down. Gorgeous. Just like that. Hands can even reach forward if that helps with balance, or they're at the heart or the hips. Really drive those hip points forward. Squeeze the glutes, length through the hamstrings, the hip flexors, and then come on down. Last one, we land, soft landing, and switch the legs. We'll find that on the other side. Left leg in front, right leg behind. Maybe exhale out on a sigh or a horsey lip. And then bring it back to center, hands at heart or on the hips here. Inhale, we rise up onto the knees. And exhale, lower down. Inhale, we lift. And exhale, lower. Maybe find one more lift here. And lower down. Beautiful. Swing the right leg forward. Come back to a seat. Maybe rock side to side. Pull the fleshy parts of the seat away from the sits bones and plant the hands onto the knees. Sitting up nice and tall, rooted through the legs, stable through the arms. Close the eyes here and breathe. Take a moment to scan for what you notice. What's your body asking for? So far, what has felt really good? Where are you excited to dive deeper? How's your pace been? Would you like to keep your foot on the gas? Stay steady right where you are or slow it down? After another moment or two here in stillness, you can blink the eyes open, swing the legs to one side, and come through to tabletop, coming to hands and knees. When you arrive at tabletop, Bring those fingers to spread really wide, claw through the fingertips. The shoulders stack right over the wrists, the hips stack right over the knees. And I want you to start just by rocking the hips side to side. Noticing how that feels after all that funky rotation in the inner and outer hips. And then start to draw some circles with the hips. Maybe a figure eight feels good. And then continue moving up the spine. Draw a barrel roll with the rib cage. And then finally come forward and send the shoulders forward and back. Then come to that strong and stable table and simply tuck the chin into the chest and inhale, gaze forward, almost like you're pushing a ball with the nose forward. Exhale, round through just the back of the neck, curling the chin into the chest. And inhale, push the nose forward, gaze forward. Okay, now the rest of the spine can follow along. Find your cat-cow, dipping the belly down and rounding through the spine. You know where to go here. Perhaps these are familiar shapes, which make it a really nice opportunity to check in with the body rather than kind of going on autopilot. Can you notice the sensations of these movements? And really pay attention to what feels good. And in that same vein, this is my invitation for you to begin maybe coloring outside the lines, starting to find some movement here on all fours that just feels really good for you today. I like to say if you're feeling kind of silly, you're probably doing it right. And I was just feeling kind of silly. Ooh, don't decide exactly where it ends, but I'll let you know that we will meet in extended child's pose. So whenever that movement feels complete in your body, we will find child's pose. For me, what feels good in my body is big toes together, knees spread wide, and reaching those fingertips forward. If there's a variation of child's pose that you know feels better in your body, you could take that now. We're going to drop the forearms and the forehead down to the earth. Let the head and the heart really release and relax here. There is no rush. Enjoy this transition, this rest. You might rock the forehead side to side. Beautiful. On your next inhale, gaze forward, look forward, shift forward, come back through to tabletop pose. And we'll send the left leg back long. Keep the toes on the earth. Really pushing through that left heel. You might even pulse that heel back, stretching through the toes and the ankle. The back of the leg really turns on here. And then take a moment to make sure you're pushing through both palms nice and evenly, doming up through the back body so that we're not dumping our mid back down, but we're rising up here. Then when you're ready, lift that ankle so that you're right there at hip height. Beautiful. Then bend the left knee and start to stamp that left foot on the ceiling, lifting and lowering that left foot, little baby pulses. Gorgeous. On this last one, squeeze and hold. And then straighten through the leg, release. Slide the left toes out to the left, plant through that left foot, and walk your hands back toward the knee. Bring the hands to the hips and lift up nice and tall here. I'll turn on this side so you can see this shape. Beautiful. Here we are, rooted down through that knee, pushing down through all four corners of that left foot. If that's feeling kind of sticky on that rotation of the hip, you can send the toes out on a diagonal. Just make sure you stay soft through that left knee. Beautiful. Then we'll bring the right fingertips down to the earth. Left fingertips reach up, gaze up. A block here to bring the earth up to you can feel really nice, or you can stay on fingertips or on your fist. Just make sure you're not crashing down into that right hand, but rather you're staying lifted, strong through your center. Gaze is lowered or lifted. One's going to feel better for you than the other. Gorgeous. And we'll flow here. So on an inhale, we'll lift up, find warrior two arms, and then slide the left fingertips down, right fingertips up. Come back through warrior two arms and exhale, tip it all down. Inhale, lift up warrior two. Exhale, fold it in. Inhale, back to warrior two arms, and exhale, lower down. You got it. Find one more round. Lift through those warrior two arms. Reach it back. Exhale, back to warrior two arms and down. Beautiful. Now bring those left fingertips down to meet the right. Plant through the palms and slide that left leg back. Bend the left knee and bring it underneath the hip. Wag your tail, shake the hips out. Maybe find those circles or figure eight. Get some movement here that feels good. And then we'll find that on the other side. So you're sending your right leg back. Right toes stay on the ground to begin here. Root down through both palms nice and evenly. Puff up through that back body. And maybe you pulse back through that heel. Then eventually come back to center, shoulders stacked right over the wrist. Lift the right heel. It comes right out from the hip. Then bend that right knee, and we'll start to find those baby pulses on this side. Lifting and lowering that right foot. Hug the lower abdominals in here. Always an option to be on fists or come down to forearms. Eventually find one last lift and squeeze here. And then lower the right leg down. Slide the right leg out to the side and plant through that right foot. Then walk the hands back toward the knee. And we rise up, finding this funky shape on the other side. Again, if it's feeling sticky in the hip, you can find a slight diagonal here with the toes. Stay soft through that knee so we don't lock out here. And then we'll open up and send it down. Left fingertips reach down toward the earth. Right fingertips reach up. Feel that long line running all the way from the crown of the head down through the hip and into the toes. Hug the belly button in here. Feel the length of that hip flexor. Again, don't crash into those left fingertips. Gaze is lifted or lowered. And on an exhale, come all the way up and through warrior two arms. And then reach it back, lean back. Left fingertips reach up, right fingertips reach forward. Come through warrior two arms. And exhale your way down. Inhale, lift. And exhale, flip it back. And through and down. We're flowing just like that. Lift, reverse, warrior two, arms, and down. Last round, here we go. Lift, reverse, warrior two, arms, and down. Beautiful. Drop the right hand down to meet the left, and we'll tuck that right knee underneath the hip. This time, let's send it back to downward facing dog. Tuck those toes under and lift the hips. Woo, finding length all the way from crown to tail and giving those legs some opportunity to stretch and move, pedaling the feet out. We're going to pause here in down dog for 3 solid breaths. And if down dog doesn't feel like where you want to be, you could come to tabletop or child's pose. The knees can stay soft or generously bent here in down dog. Those sits bones reaching up toward the sky. The biceps hug into the ears. Gorgeous, strong, all the way from the fingers to the toes. Beautiful. On your next inhale, if you're not in down dog already, meet us here. Then root down through that left heel. Sweep the right leg high up and back. Find three-legged dog. Then hug that right leg in towards center and hop it in between the hands. Lower that back knee. Come into a low lunge. On your next inhale, push down through the top of that back foot and all 4 corners of the front foot. Reach the fingertips up and overhead. On an exhale, find cactus arms. Lean back, gaze up. Open the heart. Hug that right knee in towards center. Exhale out through the mouth. Inhale, reach the fingertips up toward the sky. Palms kiss overhead. Then rain the fingertips down to frame that front foot. Bring the right hand on the inside of that right foot and maybe walk that right foot out a bit farther toward the outer edge of the yoga mat. And we'll come into a lizard variation that feels good in your body. You might come down onto one or both forearms. You might roll onto the outer edge of that right foot, let the knee fall out to the side. You might stay lifted. You have lots of choices here, but settle in to your lizard variation this evening for a few breaths. Slowing it down enough here so you can really listen, notice, and respond to what feels good in this shape. On your next exhale, begin to lift yourself up. If you were lowered, plant that right foot and heel toe, walk it in towards center. Frame that front foot, tuck the toes under and lift that back knee. Then plant the palms and send that right foot back to downward facing dog. Once again, we'll pause here for 3 breaths. If down dog is not where you want to take those breaths, you are allowed to make a different choice. Child's pose or tabletop. Root down through whatever is touching the earth. Can you soften that space between your brow bone. If you're not already there, let's meet in downward facing dog. And this time we'll plant the right heel, sweep the left leg high up and back, find three-legged dog. On an exhale, hug that left knee in towards center, hop it up, in and through, and lower that back knee. Once you feel rooted down through all four corners of that front foot and the top of that back foot will reach the fingertips up and overhead. You might want to adjust here, sending that left hip back a bit, right hip forward, hugging that left knee in towards center. And just like on the other side, on an exhale, open up cactus arms. Send the heart back, the shoulders pinch together on the back body. As you gaze up, open the heart. On your next inhale, lift the arms, take the gaze forward and shift forward, frame that front foot. Then we'll bring the left hand on the inside of that left foot, walk the left foot out to the outer edge of the yoga mat and find your lizard shape on this side. Maybe rolling onto the outer edge of that front foot, maybe coming down onto one or both forearms, maybe staying lifted. Find a variation of this shape that feels good today in your body on this side. Beautiful. On your next inhale, lift yourself up if you were lowered and walk that left foot in towards center. Tuck those back toes under, lift the back knee, plant the palms and send that left leg back. Downward facing dog. Our last down dog of the practice. So stay here and settle in for a few breaths if you'd like. Or we'll all meet in child's pose. When you're ready, lower the knees. Big toes come together, knees spread wide. Reach the fingertips forward. Settle the heart and the head down toward the earth. And rest. When you're ready, lift the gaze. Shift forward into a soft and gentle tabletop pose. We're going to round out our movement with a pigeon posture. So slide that right knee all the way toward the right wrist. And then shimmy, wiggle those toes, the right toes, toward the left wrist. You can even take that left hand and reach back, guide the toes forward. Then tuck those back toes under and lift the back knee. Find length through that left heel. Then slowly lower that knee down. Keep as much of that length as you can through the leg as you soften that knee. Then you can stay here lifted on fingertips or palms, or maybe you're ready to drape the belly forward and come onto forearms or all the way down to the earth. Remember to be mindful not to crash into that right hip, even if that means that right hip is lifted way far away from the earth. Mine certainly is. We're going to keep those hips square, meaning that our right hip stays next to our left. We're not dumping the weight into the right side. You might stack your fists one on top of the other and let the forehead rest on your fists. I hope by now you have felt a few moments of true embodiment, that kind of fuzzy, delightful place where you get kind of lost in how it feels to be in your body. If you haven't found that yet tonight, trust me, you are not alone, but maybe here in Pigeon, you really allow your thinking mind to take a break and your body to just do its thing. We're here for 2 more breaths. Gorgeous. On your next inhale, use your hands to walk yourself back up here. Pause for a moment on palms or fingertips as you unfurl through the spine and gaze forward. Beautiful. Then plant through the palms. Tuck those toes under of the back foot and sneak that left knee forward. Eventually you'll know that you've got space here that you can slide that right knee back in place. Shake the hips side to side. And we'll find that on the other side. Starting in kind of a gentle tabletop, we slide that left knee toward the left wrist, and then we shimmy those left toes toward the right wrist. Maybe even reaching back and gently pulling that foot forward, squaring the hips. Left hip is side by side with the right. Tuck the back toes under and lift the right knee. Extend long through that right heel. Then slow and steady, lower that knee down, keeping that length through the back leg. Once you feel settled here in the lower half of the body, you might decide to stay lifted, or maybe once again, you drape yourself down, belly comes over that front leg as you find your pigeon on this side. When you are ready, push yourself up with your hands and walk your hands back toward that left leg. Take a moment to come up onto palms or fingertips, unfurl through the spine. Then soften through the arms, and this time just drop onto that left hip and swing the right leg forward. Come to a seat. And in your crisscross seat, just nice and easy, we're going to walk the fingertips forward, rounding out our hips, stretches here and getting long through the spine. Then curl it back up, walk the hands back, and switch the cross of the leg. So probably the one that feels funky. And once again, creep crawl the fingertips forward. Soften through the forearms, soften the head toward the earth, and breathe. Then walk the hands back toward the legs, sit up nice and tall, and make your way to lie flat on your back. And actually, before you do, grab your bolster or your rolled up blanket. And you have 2 options tonight. for this restorative posture. You could bring your bolster or your blanket so that it runs parallel with the front or the back of your mat. And then you'll bring the base of your shoulder blades to the edge of the bolster or the blanket and drape back, arms open out wide to the side, or maybe just down by your side. You could also choose to turn your blanket or your bolster so that it runs perpendicular with the short side of your yoga mat. And then in that case, you can drape just about your whole spine along that bolster or that blanket, settling in here as well with the arms out wide, or maybe just gently resting by the side. Once you have decided what you're going to do here to open up through the heart and the chest, that bolster or blanket going one way or the other on the mat, let the arms settle. And then you could keep the knees bent, the feet flat on the earth. You could walk those feet out to the outer edges of your yoga mat. Let the knees fall in toward one another. You could go the opposite direction, bring your feet together, and let the knees open up wide. Or if it feels good in your body, you can reach the legs long and soften. Take this moment to really ask yourself, like, if there's anything that you could do to make yourself even just a bit more comfortable. Maybe you need to, I don't know, shift and wiggle, move a ponytail out of the way, dim the lights in your space, get an extra blanket to cozy up here. And start to settle in. Close the eyes, soften the gaze, and let yourself be held here by the earth. Allow your breath to flow freely, organically, softly. And allow your body to be fully held here. I will, as always, leave you here tucked in for the night. You are, of course, allowed to linger in this shape for as long as you would like to, eventually rousing yourself by deepening your breath and perhaps wiggling the fingers and the toes, and eventually drifting off to whatever is next for you this evening, hopefully sealing the day with practices that feel restful and easeful. This is my evergreen reminder that you are allowed to take up space. You are allowed to be nourished and cared for in the same ways that you are nourishing and caring for others. Before I go, I want you to know that I'm bringing my hands together and my thumbs right up to my third eye tonight, sending so much loving, compassionate energy and so much gratitude to each and every one of you for sharing your breath and your body with me this evening. I am bowing reverently to each and every one of you. Rest well, my friends, and I will see you again soon.